So good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the February AFC Virtual Travel Show. My name is Will Reece, and I'm the marketing rep for AFC Vacations. I'm thrilled to be joining one of our top tour managers in Chris McCool down in Texas. And say hello to everybody, Chris.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm really glad you're here. We should make this an interesting show for you.
And these virtual shows are a great way for us to connect with all of you, many of whom are all over the country for 2022. And that includes many of the tours Chris will be doing throughout the year. Now, our focus is on the wonders of the Danube as we celebrate our 40th anniversary with this special trip hosted by Chris and Deb. I'll also be talking about a program I'm very excited about, and that's our new Tuscan culinary experience. Now, as we look ahead to travel in 2022, COVID numbers are dropping quickly, and our phones have been buzzing with people ready to travel again. Don't miss out on another year and come join one of our many trips. So destinations have been lifting many of their restrictions over the last couple of weeks, and local guidelines are varying. Masks are still required by the TSA on all of their transportation methods. That does include motor coaches and airlines, and that is in place through March at this time. Also, proof of vaccination is required on tours and cruises departing March 15th or after. Now, AFC means affordable first class, and one of the benefits with booking through AFC is that we really focus on the people that serve you. Our team is exceptionally knowledgeable and very experienced in the travel industry with over 120 years combined experience in travel. So you're in great hands. Again, we've been in business for 40 years, and it really started with our founder, Randy Case. And Matt Kennel, our president, has taken over and done a fantastic job in the transition. Now, we've taken the stress out of travel by providing door-to-door pickup service to ease your travel day and getting you to and from the airport. So AFC travelers love this option, and we hope you do too. We have an excellent team of tour managers that take care of you and all your needs out on the road. They're teachers, they're storytellers, and truly a ton of fun to travel with. And these experts will make your trip memorable and an absolute blast along the way. So for joining us today, we've created some show specials for attendees. And if you book a new 2022 tour or cruise by next Wednesday, so 1 week from today, March 2nd, we'll bring the deposit down by $100 from the brochure rate. So that'll save you some money on the front end there when you're planning your trip. We also offer a no-risk deposit as well as a one-category upgrade on either the Wonders of the Danube, celebrating our 40th anniversary, and also our Christmas Markets River Cruise that happens in November. Then if you book your travel protection plan at the time of deposit, we'll also take an additional $20 off of that. But again, you must use the savings code VTSFEB for February to get those discounts and apply. Now, how do you book? We have a 1-800 number that you can see in front of you, 1-800-369-3693. You can email Joe, Holly, or Claudia. Those are our reservations coordinators at afctours.com. And then you could also go to our website, afcvacations.com, and fill out one of the forms in the form section. We have a number of great trips heading out in the next couple of months, as you can see here. So anything from March on through May, a bunch of different destinations that we're offering. Now, as you can see, a lot of them are starting to fill up. We've been very busy on the phone lines the last couple of weeks. And so make sure you get in your reservations as soon as possible. And we are celebrating our 40th anniversary in style with this 9-day trip featuring 7 nights aboard the Amadeus Star. And this trip is hosted by Chris McCool and Deb Howard. We were just on its sister ship, the Amadeus Imperial, going up the Rhine just a couple of months ago and had a fantastic time exploring the rivers and the markets themselves. But this is the sister ship, the Star, launched in 2019, and they are beautiful floating hotels with all the amenities you could need. Our cruises offer gourmet meals, entertainment on board on a nightly basis, and some fantastic touring opportunities on a daily basis. And we also dock right in the heart of most cities, and that makes it easy to get on and off the ship. One of the features that we've incorporated is free Wi-Fi as we travel along these rivers. And all of our dinners also include free wine, beer, or soft drinks. Now, some of the highlights of this cruise are the cities of Budapest, Bratislava, and Vienna. And we incorporate tours by motor coach in those major cities. And to start out the program, we'll fly into Budapest and head straight to the ship for 7 nights. And as we arrive on the ship, we will do a welcome toast, welcome you on board the ship, and a fantastic welcome dinner to celebrate. At the end of the cruise, we'll also celebrate with a farewell dinner, and that's kind of a little fancier chance to get dressed up if you want. And here's a video to introduce you to the river cruise experience, and after that, I'll turn it over to Chris. Chris, take it away.
All righty. Folks, some of you remember the 35th anniversary cruise that Deb, myself, Randy, and several others led, going from San Diego up to Vancouver, British Columbia. And we had a great time on that experience. And we had, I believe, 186 or 87 people on that. Well, we are giving you the opportunity to celebrate our 40th anniversary on this fantastic opportunity. And here's why it is fantastic. Because if you were to try to do this on your own or through any other company, this experience would cost you $1,000 more. By chartering the ship, we have controlled the price point, and we are giving you so much that you would not get without spending a great deal more money. So we really want you to join Deb and myself on this experience. We will have local guides for all of the shore excursions that are included. There will be opportunities for other shore excursions where you have the opportunity to either go out and spend a full day sightseeing, or you can spend the free time that we offer on the ship or the optional excursions that are offered. So much to be had on this experience. Now, it is my viewpoint that river cruising offers the best food you can find on any water, anywhere, be it ocean or river. This particular Amadeus Star, 2019, it was launched. It's virtually a new ship, and they do such a great job. We love Amadeus. They are just the best in our viewpoint. And once you are on board, there is so much to do. There is never a dull moment. If it's a beautiful day, you're on the top deck. If it's a little chilly, you can certainly be on the second deck down where there's wraparound glass and have drinks and watch the river go past. It's fun to go through the locks at night, and it looks like a city on the water. This particular experience starts in Budapest. And Buda and Pest are two different cities. They're on opposite sides of the river. Well, we are going to explore that in an included excursion, including up to the Fisherman's Market, which is basically a beautiful church and a promenade overlooking the Danube. We will also see other portions of Budapest on this particular tour. And we also will have excursions to Szentendre, which in my viewpoint is one of the most beautiful artist villages you could ever go to. It is not only picturesque for picture taking, but also picturesque for all the wonderful artistic things that are available to you. Very unique, makes great gifts. We also are going to go to Esztergom. Esztergom was shown in the video we just saw, and that is a wonderful basilica. And this basilica is probably the best aerial view of the Danube you could possibly have. In fact, we go there by bus, and the ship meets us at a dock. And so we can be up at the promenade and watching our ship come around the corner, and then we go board the buses and go back to the ship. So those are opportunities that are there. But listen to this. We also go to Dürnstein, and Dürnstein is in the Waka Valley. Not only is there wine everywhere, but the abbey and the castle that is there at this beautiful walled medieval city is an experience. It'll be one of your favorite experiences, I can promise you. Vienna is fabulous. There is an optional excursion to the Schönberg Palace, and we recommend that certainly. You might even choose to go to a Mozart experience, which would be optional. But we bring a lot of entertainment on the ship as well, which is, of course, free and included. And so you don't want to miss those opportunities. And that entertainment on the ship is always of local variety, of reflecting the area that we are happen to be docked at. Now, Bratislava is a real surprise. I really think you're going to totally enjoy Bratislava, this beautiful city with its giant sculpture over the Danube River and the beautiful castle, the summer residence of the royalty is there, and it has a wonderful open air market to explore, all within walking distance of the ship. I think you'll thoroughly enjoy that. We'll go to Linz as well. Now at Linz, you'll have the opportunity to either stay on board, or most of you will choose to do the full day Salzburg excursion. And we will take a bus into Salzburg. We will see Sound of Music scenes. We'll take you as well to the Lake District, where we will go to the wedding church where the Sound of Music was filmed. Very, very interesting area of Salzburg out in the Austrian Alps. We'll see the Hohensalzburg, which is the castle looming high above us. We'll take you to the St. Peter's St. Peter's Church. We'll also take you to Getreidegasse, which is the shopping district of Salzburg. And that, in fact, the house that Mozart was born in is on Getreidegasse. Those of you who choose not to go to Salzburg will sail on the Danube, a very relaxing afternoon, and we will meet later on and board the ship. We are also going to go to Passau, and out of Passau, that's where the cruise will actually end, but we will have another full day excursion to Regensburg. Regensburg is a gorgeous, gorgeous medieval city. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and it has a wonderful stone bridge built in the 11th century across the river. Now, in Passau, we have the Inn River and the Danube meeting one another, and the Inn River, of course, comes from Vienna. So this particular cruise has so much to offer you. As Will said a moment ago, you wake up and you're right in the middle of the city. There is no worrying about transferring and all of that. Vienna is the only exception, and even there we make it easy for you to get into the city. So much is included, and it's such an intimate atmosphere with fantastic food. Free Wi-Fi on board. That's something that AFC is including. We'll mention the wine and beer with dinners or soft drinks if that happens to be your thing. And so there's even an extension that goes to Prague. Now, folks, get the biggest bang for your airfare buck. Prague is hands down the most beautiful city in all of Europe. And if you miss out on this 2-night, 3-day extension, you have missed a treat. Oh my goodness, I cannot wait to be a part of this. And Deb and I will show you some of the most amazing places in Prague you've ever dreamed of seeing. We stay not terribly far from Wenceslas Square. We're near Old Town Prague, the Jewish Quarter, all very, very interesting. I hope, folks, you will choose to be a part of our 40th anniversary cruise, Wonders of the Danube. Listen, invite those that you know, that you walk with, that you go to church with, that you see in social settings. Tell them about this great experience. Everyone wants to do a river cruise, and AFC is giving you an opportunity to do it for about $1,000 less than you could get it anywhere else. It's a great time to be there. So, Will, that's what I have to say about the Danube, and I really hope every one of you listening will choose to be a part of this. It is a grand experience. Vienna and the Christmas Markets is a cruise that I will lead. It also is a cruise on the Danube. And on this particular tour, we're going to actually go into Frankfurt. We're going to follow the Romantic Road, the Romantic Strasse, they call it, on our way down through Würzburg to Rothenburg. Rothenburg is the walled medieval city that the Disney Corporation used to create their Bavarian village. And they have a fantastic Christmas market there. We as well are going to take you to Nuremberg. Nuremberg has what is considered the very best Christmas market of all of Europe. Everywhere, anywhere you go in Europe, Nuremberg is considered the best. We'll go to Regensburg. That was on the other 40th anniversary cruise as well. And we'll go to Passau as we are cruising down the Danube. Linz has a beautiful Christmas market. I was just there just before COVID at their Christmas market. And Melk is the Melk Abbey. You'll love the sight of this. You'll see it coming from a long ways away. And we finally end in Vienna. And of course, Vienna has a wonderful Christmas market as well. Now, here's what you need to know. This is not just about Christmas markets, carolers, wassail, wonderful wooden arts and crafts. It's not just about that. It is about sightseeing at its very best. Is it cold? It can be. Does it snow? I think I might have seen snow in 1 out of 8 times that I have led Christmas market tours, and it wasn't very much. It is a really great time to be there because so many of the tourists are not in Europe this particular time of year, but they do come out for the Christmas markets, and we will see them by day and by night, but yet you return to the same comfort of your own bed in this wonderful ship. It makes no difference whether on the Amadeus Queen or the Amadeus Star for the 40th anniversary cruise. If you choose the upper 2 decks, you will have a room big enough to hold a dance in. It is much, much larger than staying in a cruise cabin on a ship. If you want to save a little money and choose the lower deck, which is perfectly fine, you'll have a cruise cabin about the size of a ship cruise cabin. So you're returning every night to your own clothes hung up in the closet, your shoes under the bed, and fabulous food, 3 meals a day. I hope you'll consider this November 28th excursion with me on the Danube River, Vienna and the Christmas markets. Let's talk about mystery tours. Mystery tours are something that AFC has been known for the last 15 or 16 years. And Deb and I happen to lead all of them, although we are introducing new mystery tours to some of the other tour directors. They know the material, they've just not led it as a mystery. Mystery tours are about the unusual and unique. They are not about a trip to Chicago or a trip to New York City or to Philadelphia or a trip to San Diego or Los Angeles or San Francisco. Mystery tours are about places you would never, ever think of going. And because you trust us and you travel with AFC, you know we're going to give you the best of the best. Now, these tours are so popular. If you notice, the first one is sold out March the 27th. I'm so excited about leading this. It's a brand new mystery tour that I helped to create. I did not create the whole thing because we have a fabulous team in operations who do all of this work. Will is a part of all of that brain trust that does this. And this tour is one I have wanted to lead for a long time, and I'm finally going to get to do it. It's brand new. I know the destination well, but we've never offered it to AFC participants. There are many others. If it says Encore, that means it's one we have done in the past. Here's how it works. We pick somewhere unusual and unique. Okay, let's take one as an example. The Finger Lakes of New York is a past mystery tour. Everyone's heard of Lake Canandaigua. Everyone's heard of Lake Geneva and the wineries and all there is to see there in that area. And we go for 4 nights and 5 days. We fly you there. We have the same quality of accommodations, or we have the same fabulous food. You just don't know the destination. But it will be something when you come back, you will say, I cannot believe all there was to see in the Prescott, Arizona area. I cannot believe all there was to see in the Gulf Islands or in the Golden Isles of Georgia. Folks, so many of the tours that we offer as a known entity, Pittsburgh, look at that itinerary. That was a mystery tour. Canyon de Chelly and the Southwest, including Painted Desert and Petrified Forest, was a mystery tour. So we put together these mystery tours. We tell you what kind of clothing to bring, what the average temperatures will be, and we tell you what time to be at, say, American Airlines or Southwest or whoever we bring you to the mystery tour on. That's all we tell you. And after that, it is a mystery. Folks, if you're a control freak, probably best not to come. But most people that come say, I can't believe what a great time I've had. And if you become a part of the mystery tour family, I promise you, you'll be back. It is so much fun. So I really hope you will consider one of these. Let the child inside of you come out and play. Take a small risk, and that child inside of you will be so pleased that you did that. The Passion Play and Bavaria and Austria. Oh, my goodness. I have been to every Passion Play with a group since 1980. I was there in 84 for the 500th anniversary. I was there in 90. I was there in 2000. And I was there in 2010. But I was not there in 2020, and neither were you. Because the Passion Play we are going to this summer in 2022 was scheduled for 2020. And, of course, we know what was going on then. We're going to start with a city tour of Munich. I love Munich, all that's around it. So much to see in this beautiful Bavarian village, not terribly far from the Bavarian Alps. We will have reserved seats at the Passion Play. It is an afternoon event. Then we go back and have dinner, and then we go back to finish it up in the evening, and we will have excellent seating. We are undercover. The actors and actresses are not, and they all happen to be from Oberammergau. What is the Passion Play? Just in case you don't know, we are celebrating the Passion of Christ, and the citizens of Oberammergau are thanking God that the city was spared during the bubonic plague some 520 some odd years ago. And over 50% of the people lost their lives, but they prayed that no one else would die, and no one else did die. So we will be at the Passion Play. As you know, Oberammergau is known for its painted houses, the beautifully artistically painted houses, the fabulous woodcraft that is there, the church at Ettal close by. We'll stop there. It's not shown on the itinerary, but we'll go there. And we'll see Castle Neuschwanstein of Mad King Ludwig fame, probably the most famous castle in the world. You see it in the lower right-hand image there. We'll go to Mondsee, which is where the Sound of Music church is. The Salzburg City Tour, there again. We will see that, and I'll take you to all the sites I spoke of a moment ago. There will be a day on the Danube River for a cruise, and we will be in Vienna as well. Now, this tour ends with Prague. I, there again, recommend, but you go to Prague on this tour. It is so worth doing. Now, listen to this deal. If you want to get the biggest bang for your airfare dollar, do this. Join me for the Passion Play tour of Bavaria and Austria, then travel with me by train from Vienna to Zurich, and we will do the Swiss Alps tour together. Alpine Swiss villages. This particular tour is absolutely one of my favorites. Those of you who know me already know that. This happens to be the 80th time I will lead this tour. 80th, that's correct. You know I must love it if I've been there that many times. I've been going there since 1974 on a regular basis. What's beautiful about this tour? Well, first of all, you trust us. If you trust us to go on a mystery tour, you would trust us with this tour. This tour is all about places you've never heard of. If you want a big city tour of Switzerland to see a lot of concrete with some Alps off in the distance, go ahead and see Zurich and Geneva and Lucerne and Bern. That's all good and fine. We are taking you to the Switzerland of hiding, the place you always want to go. This is what you have in mind when you think Switzerland. We are staying in a little village high in the Swiss Alps. In fact, we are not high up. We're only at 4,400 feet, but we are looking down into a glacial valley, 2,800 feet beneath us, with 74 waterfalls dropping into the valley, totally surrounded by 14,000-foot snow-covered Swiss Alps. The picture to the upper left with the train, that is how we get to the village. Why the train? Because there's no roads leading to the village. But every day we go out and we see some part of Switzerland, never more than an hour to an hour and a half away, and we get there by train, cable car, lake steamer, gondola, funicular, post bus, never a chartered bus. So we're going to take you to places you've never heard of, like the Lauterbrunnen Valley, Grindelwald, Meiringen, Reichenbach Falls, Getreidegasse, Schöniger Plateau Wildflower Gardens, Gimmelwald. All these sites are part of this fantastic tour. 6 nights in one hotel, 1 night in Zurich to catch the plane. And if you come on this tour with me, you'll be so thankful you did. Niagara Falls and the Grand Hotel. I love this tour. I'm so excited. I get to lead the October 9th version. The May 15th is sold out. Deb is leading that. She's leading the tulip version. I'm leading the fall foliage version. And there will be fall leaves. We're going to fly you into Detroit, where we will see the Henry Ford Museum, as you see in the lower left picture. We will take you to Greenfield Village in the lower right picture. That's where all the famous industrialist homes and offices have been brought together by Henry Ford for you to explore on one plot of land. It's fantastic. We as well are going to take you to Mackinac Island. You see the upper right picture, the largest front porch in the world. That is the Grand Hotel, built in 99 days by 5,000 workers. Folks, the food is fantastic. Gentlemen, you got to put your jackets on and ties for the evening meals. And ladies, you get your sequin dresses out and the band plays. The food is great. And there's big band dancing. It is a grand experience. We will tour the island on horse-drawn carriage. There are no motorized vehicles on the island at all. But we're there 2 nights. We don't stay across the Lake Huron, where most people stay in Mackinac City. We stay at Mackinac Island at the Grand Hotel. Well, from there, we're going to take you to the Bavarian village of Frankenmuth, where we'll not only eat at Zinder's, but we'll also go to the largest Christmas store in the world, 9 acres of Christmas under one roof. And we will see that while we're there. Then across the Blue Water Bridge to Niagara Falls on the Canadian side. Now, folks, we're going to see Niagara Falls from every angle, including from your room, because our rooms and hotel overlooks the Canadian or the Horseshoe Falls. We're going to eat in the Skylon Tower. We'll go behind the falls. We're going to ride on the Hornblower Cruise. It used to be called Maid of the Mist, new company, new boats, but it's the same experience. We'll take you to Niagara on the Lake, the Great Gorge, which most people never ever see. We'll go to the Welland Locks, the Floral Clocks. All this is a part of this fantastic tour, and then home from Buffalo. Check this out because you will love the October 9th version of this. Cape Cod and the Islands. Deb Howard leads this a lot, and I love leading it. I've led it on a number of occasions. But look what we do. We fly in and out of Boston, and we are going to spend the night in Boston one night, but we're going to go down to Plymouth, where we'll see the Plymouth Plantation. This is where all the actors and actresses dress up in costume, and you walk into this village. It is like walking back in time. You will know nothing past 1626. And because they will not talk about everything that happens is 1620 to 1626. We go all the way out to Provincetown, where the Pilgrims first landed. But we're going to spend 5 nights in Yarmouth, right on the ocean. You'll have sand right out your door practically, and that's going to be our base for sandwich class. We will see the Kennedy compound from a distance. We're going to Newport, Rhode Island, and there we're going to explore the 125,000 square foot Breakers Mansion of Cornelius Vanderbilt fame. As well, we take you by ferry out to Martha's Vineyard and to Nantucket. And how do you beat a lobster farewell dinner? It's so delicious. Come with me on this. I will be leading, I believe, the August 13th version. But as you see, there are many other choices with other fine tour directors that we strongly recommend. Pittsburgh in Falling Water is a former mystery tour. In fact, I just led it this last year with a marvelous group of people, and I've led it 3 times as a mystery tour and twice as a known entity. Pittsburgh is a city that has a bad rap because it used to be a smoggy, dirty place. It's totally regentrified. It is beautiful. It is clean. The steel mills are gone, and we are going to stay in a wonderful Drury Plaza hotel right in the heart of downtown, and there we're going to have a tour of the city of bridges. 40 some odd bridges cross the Monongahela and the Allegheny and the Ohio rivers right at Pittsburgh. You're looking in the top left image of the park, the Battery Park, and that's where Fort Pitt is located. We as well are going to take the incline up the Duquesne Railway for probably the best view of Pittsburgh you will ever see. The Hartwell Acres Mansion and Country Estate is the bottom left, and we will be there. Most people go because they want to see Frank Lloyd Wright's Falling Water, as you see in the upper right image. It is worth the price of admission just to see this amazing place. We will eat at the old Union Station, which is now a Landry's restaurant, which is just fantastic. I think Pittsburgh's probably the 4th most important museum city in America, and the Carnegie and Heinz museums are incredible there as well. So much more in Pittsburgh that I have not even talked about, but I hope you'll give it a try. It's only 5 days, 4 nights, and it is a former mystery tour, and we love it so much that we're offering it again. Charleston and Savannah. Oh my. I call this a foodie tour. You know why? Because everywhere we eat has just the most fantastic food. Deb is leading this, and it's a March 9th tour. It is a great time to be there. 3 nights in Charleston with all the sights, the Ashley River Valley, Middleton Place, Magnolia Plantations, the Battery, out to Fort Sumter. So much to see and do in and around Charleston. Go eat at Hyman's Restaurant for lunch on your own. You will love it. It's one of the most famous restaurants in all of Charleston. Then we're going to head down to Beaufort. Beaufort's where Forrest Gump was filmed. Wonderful mansions. We'll have a carriage tour there at Beaufort. And Beaufort also is where the Marine base is located. Then to Savannah for 2 nights. Savannah is the 5th largest seaport in the nation. Our hotel is right on the Savannah River. And sometimes they even have a blue light that comes on in your room when a large ship is passing by. Savannah has so much to offer. The home of Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil, the Gordon Low home of Girl Scout fame, the riverfront, all of the squares that were put in place to keep Sherman from just marching right through the city. General Sherman said that Savannah was so beautiful, it was too beautiful to destroy, and it was not destroyed. Then we're going to head to Jekyll Island, and Jekyll Island Club. What an amazing place that is. That's the bottom right picture that you see. This is where the rich and famous gathered before we had a thing called income tax. But they developed the Federal Reserve right there at Jekyll Island. We'll stay there. We'll dine there. We'll explore they call them cottages. I call them mid-sized mansions. We'll go out to Driftwood Beach and see the sights while we are there. It's a beautiful sight. Then the tour heads to St. Simon Island as well, and then down to Jacksonville. Folks, not only does this tour have great food, but it has fabulous sights. So go with Deb. You won't go wrong if you go with her. You'll love it, and you'll be back. San Antonio Fiesta. Well, I can tell you a little bit about this because I've spent a lot of time in San Antonio. I moved there in 1978. I live in Colorado part of the time, and I'm in San Antonio some of the time. And I love San Antonio. Been there a lot of years. We're not only going to take you to the Alamo, but here's what's important. Most people never go to the IMAX. The IMAX tells you about what happened at the Alamo. It's a wonderful 45-minute depiction, and therefore it will bring it to life as you are there. We're going to take you to Mission San Jose, which is a national park. And this mission is it's basically still intact, complete. It is not just ruins. So worth seeing. So we will take you there. We are going to be there during a wonderful time when the wildflowers are in bloom all over the fields. And we know the very best places to take you, like the Willow City Loop and down south to Pearsall, to see the wildflowers. And there's going to be a river parade. The Texas Cavaliers, that's a charitable organization group. You basically have to be a blue blood San Antonian to be a member of it, but they put on a river parade with these floats that are decorated, and we will watch that. We're also going to go up into the Tower of Americas, and we will cruise the river. The Paso del Rio is the boat line that carries us on the San Antonio River through downtown. It's a wonderful thing to do. This tour takes you up to Austin. Austin is such a blow and going city with young people and techie people, and very, very popular place to live. And the LBJ Library is right on the University of Texas campus, and we'll see the Capitol as we drive by there as well. Fredericksburg, well, I was just in Fredericksburg not long ago, and what a beautiful city that is. Fredericksburg has the Museum of the Pacific, Admiral Nimitz fame, of George Bush fame, and it's Smithsonian associated, as good as a Smithsonian. But ladies, if you're not into that, the shopping in Fredericksburg is a place where all women in San Antonio go to buy the unusual, unique. Very interesting place. And the LBJ Ranch and Museum, LBJ Ranch is there, and also Wild Seed Farm. We'll stop there, and the Wildflower Center in Austin as well. This tour has it all. I know San Antonio very well. I hope you'll join me. We stay at a fabulous Drury Plaza, I believe, in downtown San Antonio. And so you'll be thrilled with this tour. Georgia on My Mind. This is a tour that I had the privilege of helping to create. I love Georgia. I've been there so many times. And it's an unpack once. Don't you like that concept? Unpack once. That's what a river cruise is all about. And this is a tour that I have led on several occasions. We had excellent groups. We stayed at Hyatt Regency Midtown in Atlanta. We're very, very close to the sites that we're going to see, so we don't spend inordinate amounts of time slogging our way through traffic. We'll have an Atlanta City tour. We'll see Centennial Park, which is from Olympic fame, and the Georgia Tech campus. The Capitol is there. We'll see Martin Luther King's home as well. Mary Mac's Tea Room. You'll love the food that we have there. We're going to do a behind-the-scenes tour of CNN. The last time I was there, our tour group was standing there, and who should walk out the door but Anderson Cooper? And he greeted our group. We enjoyed getting to visit with him for a brief time. Coca-Cola World. Gone with the Wind Museum is excellent. The Carter Library is one of my favorites of all the presidential libraries. I've been to all of them but Hoover's. Stone Mountain, we will go there as well. The Little White House, we'll go there as well. This tour has it all, folks. And I think you will love it if you choose to go with me. It's an unpack once, and I will be leading this on April the 21st and November the 10th. Kentucky with Noah's Ark. Well, the reason I guess I'm getting to do this is I am a Kentuckian by birth. I went to college there, lived there for 22 years, and helped get to put this one together as well. It's so fun, folks, to work for a company that allows the tour directors to help create the tours. And that's a really good thing for you because we're out and about and we know what's good to see and what's exciting for you. So look at all that we're doing. 2 nights in Louisville at the Galt House. What a beautiful hotel overlooking the Ohio River. 3 nights in Lexington at a wonderful Embassy Suites, Cool Springs, out by the horse park. We're going to take you to Derby Dinner Playhouse. We're going to do a Louisville tour, including the Slugger Factory and the Muhammad Ali Museum. We are also going to go to Churchill Downs while we are there and have the tour of that. This tour takes you to my old Kentucky home in Bardstown, and not far from there is Maker's Mark, truly the most scenery-filled bourbon factory anywhere in the world. Did you know Kentucky bourbon all has a different flavor based on the limestone in the water? The Shaker Village in Harrodsburg dates back nearly 150 years, and you've seen Shaker furniture. The food there is fantastic. The Kentucky Horse Park is all about horse racing, and you'll see some thoroughbreds, even Kentucky Derby winners who are there. Now, a lot of people love this tour because of that bottom right picture, the Noah's Ark experience in Williamstown. That's kind of up near Cincinnati. That ark is exactly the same number of cubits in size and length as the Noah's Ark that was described in the Bible, and the museum inside is quite excellent. Most people who go are thrilled to get to see it. And we also will be going to the Toyota plant, which is the largest car manufacturing facility in the world. And if you sign up for the May 12th or October 6th tour, we have a free car for you. You believe me? Well, come on and go on it anyway. It's a lot of fun. Toyota Auto Plant. A lot of people love that. So round trip Louisville, we'll be doing so many more things. I will take you to my favorite food restaurants in this area as well. Let's move to the next one, Will. Colorado Rails and National Parks. Got to lead this one this last year too, and I love it. I spend a lot of time in Colorado, and I will be we'll be flying into Denver, and we're just going to spend one night there. It's kind of an arrival day, go out to eat. But then we're going to go to Vail, to Georgetown, very interesting place. And we're going to go through the Glenwood Canyon Gorge, which is very beautiful. Mountains on one side and the Colorado River roaring past us, whitewater rafting kind of water. 2 nights in Grand Junction at the base of Colorado Monument. The Colorado River is right there in town. Lots of wineries in the Grand Junction area. We spend one day going to Arches and Canyonlands, and we'll take you down Highway 128 through that beautiful gorge. It's a scenic highway with Arches 2,000 feet above you in the Colorado River at the base of the cliffs. Then from Grand Junction, we take you to Montrose, up to Ouray, and then as Deb and I call it, we call it the scary road. It's not scary. We do it all the time. But it's a road on Highway 550 that winds its way up to Silverton. And we have beautiful gorges on one side and mountain cliffs on the other as we make our way to Silverton, spend some time, have a meal there. Then AFC has lined up for you great seats on the Durango Silverton rail train that you see in the top right image. And we will take that 3.5-hour journey from Silverton through the gorge, following the Animas River and the big loop that is famous on that train ride into Durango, where we stay at the Doubletree in Durango. Well, we're not just going to see Durango, but we're going to take you to Mesa Verde. And we will take you to some beautiful settings in Mesa Verde. We know them well. I just led this tour this summer. From there to Durango, we go through Pagosa Springs. We'll stop for a view of the hot springs in Pagosa to Great Sand Dunes National Park. This national park happens to be the largest sand dunes in the world, over 750 feet high. Then 3 nights in Colorado Springs at the Antler Hotel right in downtown. We will see every aspect of Colorado Springs, Manitou Springs, out to Garden of the Gods. We take you to the Royal Gorge Railway that you see in the bottom right, where that bridge is 1,000 feet above you, following the Arkansas River. Quite a view. Then we finally bus up to Denver and home. What a gorgeous view. And by the way, if you happen to live in a hot part of the world, June, August, and September, great time to be in Colorado. Yellowstone to Mount Rushmore. Oh, I've led this tour, I don't even know how many times, so many times. Got to lead it once this last year with Premier and just loved it. This tour goes into Rapid City. 2 nights in Rapid City at the Mount Rushmore Rapid City Hotel. Lovely hotel right next to the park, within walking distance of Prairie's Edge, the fabulous store there. From there, we're going to take you not only into the Black Hills, but we're going to see a Crazy Horse Memorial. We'll see Mount Rushmore by day, the night lighting ceremony, which is very moving and wonderful. We'll see all of those sites over to Deadwood, and you'll have opportunities to do several things in Deadwood. Very interesting town. Then to Devil's Tower, bottom right picture. That, folks, is a volcanic, it's called a Devil's Post Pile. And it never did see the light of day. It was totally covered with dirt, never did. As the magma came up and cooled, then the dirt eroded away, and that's what was left. We'll teach you the geology of these things as well. We're going to make our way across to Sheridan, where we spend one night, to Cody, where we see the fabulous Buffalo Bill Museum. Folks, from Cody into Yellowstone National Park is the only way to go into Yellowstone that is worthwhile in my mind. It is the most beautiful scenic drive imaginable, following Yellowstone Lake, winding our way around, and finally making our way for 2 nights in West Yellowstone. And there we will explore the park, taking you to places a lot of tour guides don't even know about. We know it so well and love it. I personally have camped there many, many weeks out of the last 30, 40 years. Just love the area. Then from there down to the Grand Tetons National Park, the Jackson Hole area. Hole means valley, and we're going to see Jenny Lake, and we're also going to see Jackson Lake while we are there. We spend one night at Jackson Hole, and then finally over Bear Lake, down into the Salt Lake Valley, where we spend one night, and we'll have an opportunity to have a little bit of a tour of Salt Lake City and then fly home. Two opportunities, the 9th and the 25th of August. 9th of June, 25th of August. Idaho Adventure. Oh, I've led this one a lot of times too, and I am on it this year as well. I believe I'm on maybe the September 9th. I can't remember, October 1st version, but it doesn't matter who's leading it, folks. Our AFC and Premier Tour guides are top notch, and I will tell you that I've been in business 49 years leading tours, and I know a good tour leader when I see one. And so we have really good tour leaders. We go to Coeur d'Alene, 2 nights at the fabulous 5-star Coeur d'Alene Resort, top left picture. Then over to Wallace for the day. We'll eat at the Ryder Ranch, where the steaks, how do you want your steak? Covering the plate. Oh, the Ryder family does a great job outside of Coeur d'Alene. And then from there, we're going to go down through Moscow, ultimately to Riggins, where the Big Salmon and the Little Salmon River converge. And our hotel, the Salmon Rapids Lodge, overlooks this beautiful scene. And then we take a bus over the mountains. Oh, that's a fun ride. Let me tell you, if you want excitement, you'll love this. And we go down into Hell's Canyon, the deepest canyon in North America, deeper than Copper Canyon, deeper than Grand Canyon. And we get on that jet boat that you see at the bottom right, and we will go up the rapids of Hell's Canyon, have a picnic lunch, and then make our way back to Riggins. We're going to go to McCall. And we're going to see the beautiful lake at McCall. There's a Smoke Jumpers Training Center if it is open. It was not open last time due to COVID concerns, but they may have opened it by now. And we're going to follow the river as we make our way over the mountains, and we go into Sun Valley, another 5-star resort. So out of 6 nights, 4 of the nights are at 5-star resorts. And we'll be at the Sun Valley Lodge in the Ketchum area, and we'll spend 2 nights there seeing the sights of Sun Valley and Ketchum, and then ultimately home from Boise. Hope you'll give it a try. The Sawtooth Mountains going over to Sun Valley are worth the price of admission. U.S. Canadian National Parks is a tour that I had a privilege of creating, and here's how I created it. My son and I wanted a tour that actually stayed in the Rocky Mountains the entire time. So we got in our car, and about 20, 25 years ago, we did this route, and I came home, we turned it into a tour, and we've been operating it every year since then. Let me tell you about the national parks. We fly to Spokane. We take the bus across the Canadian border, bring your passport, to Castlegar. We're following the Columbia River almost the entire way from Spokane to Castlegar, up to Revelstoke, crossing Upper Arrow Lake on a ferry. Very gorgeous. It reminds me of the Yukon Territory. We're going to see Revelstoke National Park. We're going to see, as well, Glacier National Park in Canada. And then as we make our way to Lake Louise, we're going to see Yoho National Park. At Banff National Park, and all the sites associated with that. At Radium Hot Springs, Kootenai National Park. We'd go down to Fernie, which is like Swiss Villages in terms of beauty. Head Smashed In Buffalo Jump. which is a historic museum so well done about the buffalo stampede that they run once a year, that the Native Americans used once a year, and they only took a selected number of bison over the edge of the cliff and used every part of them for survival that winter. Then to Waterton Lakes National Park, the Peace Park, Glacier National Park, where we go to the Going to the Sun Road in the red rollback car that you see there. And also the time of year that we're going to be there in July, the bear are often digging for grubs. So you see a lot of grizzly on this tour. Then the tour goes to Kalispell for one night, following Flathead Lake to Wallace, Idaho, and back to Spokane. So you can see pictures, all these scenes of Valley of the Ten Peaks, upper left, the Banff Springs Hotel. We don't stay there. We stay in Banff, and you'll be glad we did, but we will see the hotel. And you see the tramway going to the top of Sulphur Mountain in Banff. Okay.
So from here, I'll go ahead and take over and talk about some of the remaining programs we're highlighting today. First and foremost is Washington, D.C. Cherry Blossoms. And since we just passed President's Day, this is a great tour to highlight and focuses on all of the memorials dedicated to the presidents, whether it's Lincoln, the Washington Monument, or the Tidal Basin focusing on Thomas Jefferson. And another great part of this tour focusing on those presidents is George Washington's estate, and that's down in Mount Vernon. So we take a day trip down there and spend quite a bit of time on his estate property. That's where he is buried. He wasn't quite the leader for the British that he was for the Americans, and we're quite grateful for that. He ended up being an amazing president for us as our first. We get to see Arlington National Cemetery on this tour and see JFK as well as Robert Kennedy's grave sites and the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, dedicated to all those who were lost and weren't identified. Then we go to Ford's Theater, where we learn about the assassination of President Lincoln. And we also have some time to explore the Smithsonian. So there's a portion of the day where you have the choice of choosing any of the Smithsonians to go in and learn. We visit the Library of Congress and the Capitol Visitor Center for the nation's capital. And then we also see the White House Visitor Center to learn all about the ways that each president lived. So fantastic program, April 5th. Only a handful of spots, just a couple of seats left on this tour. So make sure you don't miss it on April 5th. Then America's Music Cities. Great way to learn about the nation's music, different styles of music, whether we're talking country, live shows, and so forth. This tour is April 21st, coming up here in a couple of months, and then October 13th. And we'll fly into St. Louis with the St. Louis City Tour before heading down to Branson for 2 nights. And Branson is the live show capital of the United States. Great place to see a lot of shows, and we have about 4 shows included. That includes also the Branson Belle Dinner Cruise, so a dinner show with cruise on Table Rock Lake. From Branson, we work our way down into Arkansas and stop in Little Rock for the Clinton Presidential Library. And then it's off to Memphis, and Memphis for 2 nights. And in process, we'll also see Elvis Presley's Graceland. But Memphis itself, home of the blues, so we get to learn all about that on Beale Street as we have dinner as a group. Then to Nashville for 2 nights. Nashville, of course, home of country music, and a big ode to Johnny Cash there as well. We have the Country Music Hall of Fame and the Grand Ole Opry. We'll also do a full Nashville City Tour incorporated. So great way to learn about the country's music styles. Then Chicago All Access and Wisconsin. Now, a lot of people, again, are going to focus on the Frank Lloyd Wright aspect of this tour, where we head down to Oak Park, see his studio as well as his home from the late 1800s to early 1900s. But again, being an Unpack Once tour right in downtown Chicago gives you a great opportunity to learn about the city. Now, we're going at a great time of year, both late spring as well as early fall. Avoid some of that winter condition, but really great time of year weather-wise. Of course, with Chicago, you can't miss deep dish pizza. But as we're learning about Chicago, we do 3 different types of tours incorporated with this. We do a city tour by motor coach to learn all about the city's history, the Chicago Great Fire, and so forth. And then we do an architectural tour on the Chicago River. So we do a cruise to learn all about the upcoming buildings and the structures incorporated. And then one of my favorite parts is the Untouchables tour. That focuses on the gangster history, the 1920s and 30s, where they're dealing with the Prohibition. And then, of course, we go up to the Willis Tower, formerly known as the Sears Tower, to the sky deck. That's about 1,400 feet up and get great views over the city. So this is a fantastic opportunity to learn about Chicago and Wisconsin, May 20th and September 9th. Then the California Rail Discovery, for those folks from Texas especially, but even if you're trying to stay close to home but not go too far, June 8th and October 12th. This is one of my favorite trips to lead. Get a great in-depth experience into the wine country of California in Napa Valley. So we'll start out by flying into San Francisco, spending 2 nights there with a city tour as well as a bay cruise. And we actually circle Alcatraz Island as well as the Golden Gate Bridge before coming back. Then we head up into Muir Woods. We have an optional tour to learn about the coastal redwoods out in that area. And then it's off to Sacramento for a night. But before that, we also incorporate the Napa Valley Wine Train. Now, this train incorporates a fantastic meal for lunch. It's a gourmet lunch with multiple courses and great dessert, and then also an opportunity to try a lot of their wines from the valley. Then it's off to one of the wineries nearby in Napa and Sonoma for a tour and tasting. And then from Sacramento the following day, we'll take the Amtrak train up over the mountains, over the Sierra Nevadas with beautiful views, some ski areas as well, and up past Donner Pass to Truckee. And Truckee's a cute little town. We'll drive around the east side of the lake, of Lake Tahoe, and stay 3 nights in South Lake. Great resort area, but also the casinos right across the border in Nevada. From Lake Tahoe, we do a paddle wheel cruise out on the lake, learn about the lake's temperature and all the details of the surrounding area. And then we head up to Reno and Virginia City, learning about the silver rush of the late 1800s, as well as the Automobile Museum. So really fun trip on California Rail Discovery with 2 different train experiences. And then Seattle, San Juan Islands, and Alaska cruise. This is going to be led by Deb Howard on August 18th, so just one opportunity this year. And we start out with 2 nights in the city of Seattle. We'll do a full city tour, the Ballard Locks, where boats come from fresh to salt water, back and forth, especially during the summers as they make their way up to the San Juan Islands. And it's in those San Juan Islands that we'll be doing a whale watching cruise. And the orca, killer whale, are some of the most plethora, very frequented animals coming through that area, generally right between Lopez Island and San Juan. And the San Juan Islands are an archipelago, very lush, very green, beautiful trees, and it's a great place to explore with that experience. We come back into Seattle and board the ship. That's the MS Eurodam, and we're on a 7-night Alaska cruise. We work our way on the outside of Vancouver Island and up to the 3 main ports of the southeast arm of Alaska. That's Juneau, Ketchikan, and Sitka. And if you've heard me talk about this trip before, Sitka is one of my favorite ports because they have a raptor center just a little ways off the ship, off of where we land. And so that's a great experience to get a chance to walk through the woods and up to the center where you learn about the bald eagle and so forth. Ketchikan's a big salmon fishing port. So you learn all about the history of salmon fishing in that area. And Juneau's got a ton of charm to it as well. Also right near Mendenhall Glacier, so you could go out and explore that. But really the highlight of this program is going to Glacier Bay. And this is a great opportunity to get a balcony cabin on this ship, as the ship does a full 360-degree turn in Glacier Bay. So everybody can relax in their cabins, sitting out with a hot coffee or hot chocolate and exploring this beautiful glacier by ship. But this is a fantastic trip, August 18th with Deb Howard. And then waterways and Northwest National Parks. This is my home, Seattle, Tacoma. Tacoma was originally going to be a larger city than Seattle, but the gold rush changed all that in the 1890s. And so we'll stay 2 nights in Tacoma to start out this program. We'll head out to the Northwest Trek Wildlife Park and then up to Mount Rainier. We're not going to the tip of the mountain, that's over 14,000 feet, but we are going to Paradise Inn and great lodge and visitor center there. Then as we work our way to the west, we go to a little visited area known as the Olympic National Park in the Olympic Peninsula. And we go to a spot called Hurricane Ridge Visitor Center up in the mountains a little bit and get a view of these, on average, about 10,000-foot mountains called the Olympics. And from there, we stay 2 nights in Port Angeles and do a whale watching cruise in the San Juan Islands as well. Then it's back to Seattle for 2 nights and explore the city and some of those areas that I spoke about before, but also the oldest or continuously operating farmers market in the United States, and that's Pike Place Market. So really great trip, July 15th with Deb Howard. Then Portland Rose Festival. This is a great way to learn about the state of Oregon, both the coast, the Columbia River, as well as up to its neighbor, Washington State. We'll start out by heading up to Mount St. Helens, where we'll learn about the 1980s eruption. That sent a cloud of ash around the world in 2 weeks. It was spectacular. Very traumatizing and especially dangerous in that area at the time. Then we are going to work our way out to the coastline to the town of Astoria. And en route, we're going to stop at Fort Clatsop, which is home or the winter camp for Lewis and Clark and their expedition. From there, it's down to Tillamook and the Tillamook Cheese Factory. So dairy is a big part of that county. And so the dairy itself, as well as their cheese-making process, we'll learn about that with ice cream, too. They have great ice cream down at the factory there. We do a full city tour in Portland on one of the days, and that incorporates the Rose Test Garden. Now, neighboring the Rose Test Garden across the way is the Pittock Mansion, and that's where Henry Pittock, who was the founder of the Oregonian newspaper, built a home, and his wife created the first Rose Test Garden, and that's why Portland is known as Rose City today. But the big portion of this program is the Rose Festival itself, and we are part of the parade. We actually have seats inside Memorial Coliseum for the parade itself, so the starting point of the route. And then on one of the days, we'll also work our way down the Columbia River. We'll drive along this beautiful scenic stretch, and it is UNESCO protected. We see Multnomah Falls, and you can see that in the upper right-hand corner. Beautiful stretch of 2 separate falls, upper and lower. So don't miss this program June 9th, only one time a year because of the Rose Festival. Then this is one of my favorite domestic tours to run as a tour manager. And we'll fly in and out of Phoenix on this, spending 5 nights in the city or town of Sedona. So 5 nights there, and it is unpack once. Every day we go out on a different excursion, different trip. Everybody pretty much has heard of the Grand Canyon Railway. That was the primary access point for people exploring the Grand Canyon in the early 1900s. But a lot of people don't know about the Verde Canyon Railroad. And this is a great clip to introduce you to that.
How many places can you go where you're riding on a historic rail line in historic cars that have been converted into first class, offering you appetizers, champagne, and you don't only have your one seat inside that's very comfortable and you look out panoramic windows, but you have a second seat in an open air viewing car that no other train in the nation gives you. Right now, you get a wonderful view of the canyon. Sit down from the trees. All the rock formations.
trying to upgrade the highest level of service we can for all of our guests to come try classes that we have access to.
Since COVID has happened, we've made a lot of changes at British Columbia Railroad. Some we didn't realize would be so good for us. We, of course, are wearing our masks. We're taking all the proper precautions inside the depot, boarding the train, and we ask our passengers to wear their masks as well. It's allowed people to get out and see this campus and enjoy it even during the pandemic. As we come into spring break, this is a great trip that we hope you do something on. From 2 to 9, we have the opportunity to see something that we otherwise would have walked or ride a horse. So come and join our family. Come here to summer months and watch Saturday night starlight. And why we have more than this one. We also have rail in the fall, and of course our most important thing here is with the big man himself comes, our magical Christmas journey is the whole month of December. We are a treat for everyone for all seasons. We want people to come out when it works for them and ride with you.
A great opportunity to take a great train ride through the Verde Canyon, which means Green Canyon, one of the more lush areas. We go out to Montezuma's Castle National Monument. That's in the bottom left corner, and a historic Sinagua tribal area where they lived in the cliffs, about 50 people to a house. We go out to Jerome, which is an Old West mining town, and then also do a fantastic farewell dinner on this program. So really great trip. You can see all the different dates available. That's because it is so popular. So we hope you'll join us. Black Hills and Badlands. This is another great Unpack Once tour and one I've led multiple times. It's a fantastic experience in the Black Hills itself. And we'll stay 6 nights in Rapid City. That's known as Home of the Presidents, as on most of the street corners in the city are actual statues of each of the presidents. From there, we go out to Mount Rushmore, and we see it in 2 different lights during the daytime as well as the night illumination. So a park ranger introduces it, and they unveil the mountain with light late in the evening. Really great opportunity there. We see Devil's Tower on this tour, and then head off to Crazy Horse Memorial and learn about the big construction project they've been working on to that fearless leader. One of my favorite aspects to this program is the Buffalo Jeep Safari. And we're out in Custer State Park, out in these Jeeps that hold about 6 of us. And we're exploring this landscape and territory that the buffalo are roaming free for the most part. Now, there are barriers to the park so the buffalo don't go off wandering, but it's a great way to learn about the animals themselves, right up close and personal, very safe. And we wrap that day up with a dinner at the Game Lodge, the State Game Lodge. Then it's off to historic Deadwood. And then we also incorporate a visit to the Badlands National Park out to the east, and then Wall Drug to wrap that up. One train ride on this tour as well is the 1880 steam train, and that gives you an experience up through the Black Hills. So multiple dates during the summer and early fall with June, July, and September. Now, I can't contain my excitement about this program because it really is an exciting opportunity to learn about Italy. Not only Italy itself, their cuisines, the people, and all sorts of different aspects to it. I'll be leading the October 11th tour. I had the privilege to go out and explore a lot of the areas that we are going to and talk to all the vendors back in December, and I'm thrilled to be able to take you there. This is an Unpack Once tour in the Chianti region of Tuscany. So Tuscany is the large region, one of 19 in Italy. Chianti is the wine region, and so we're staying basically in Wine Center. From that hotel, we'll be going out on a daily basis to different areas. We'll do the truffle hunt experience at a Tuscan estate, and that's spectacular. We go out with small groups with a owner and dog and learn how they pick out these truffles. We also do a fantastic cooking class with a pasta maker at a place called Vecchio Maggio, Castello Vecchio Maggio. And this is a 9th century castle up in the hills of Tuscany. And we learn all about the wine growing process there. We'll do a wine tasting as well as a pasta making class. Then we head off to Volpaia, and Volpaia is a castle up in the hills as well. This was a property that was handed over at a pretty reasonable price back in the 1960s to a local family, and they've converted it into a winery. The family itself bought it in about 1964, I believe, and do a wine tasting in a church. It's a really great experience there. They also have the barrel room down below, and we'll get to see that. And then they've actually put piping all around the streets. So wine is technically flowing through the streets of Volpaia. And it's a great way to learn about wine itself, learn about local families, and get a true feel for the way of life in Tuscany. Then we head down south. We go to Pienza and do a pecorino cheese tasting. And our buddy Giuseppe is down there, and he'll take you through the process. We also incorporate wine with that. And we do a Tuscan farmhouse experience, which is out near San Gimignano. So San Gimignano is the town of towers, originally about 16 medieval towers, and through the wars and different time periods, about 3 of them collapsed or were destroyed. Still about 13 remain. So it's a beautiful city, and right outside we do a farmhouse experience with a saffron producer. So really fun time there. We go down to Lake Trasimeno and do a cruise and village tour of Tuoro, and then visit Island Maggiore, which is a larger island on that lake, with lunch and wine included. But really great opportunity to explore and learn all about what Italy has to offer, whether it's the art, the history, the food, and you can't beat this focal point on culinary. So a really fun trip. October 11th is the one I'm leading, November 15th as well, but great 9-day tour. So just some photos that we have. You'll see the city of Florence. We do a city tour there, a walking tour that incorporates the Accademia. And then on the right-hand side, this is a villa just outside of San Gimignano. I caught it just at the perfect time as the sun was setting, so great photo. We visit Siena, which is a beautiful city up on the hillside, and that's where they have Il Palio. That's the horse race that happens in the summertime between the different contrada or neighborhoods, and then again that pasta making class. So please come join us. Another Italian tour that we have to focus on is Italy's Amalfi Coast. So if you want to explore a little bit into the southern region of Italy, this is a great chance to do so. We'll fly into Rome and then head down to Sorrento, right on the coastline. So 5 nights in Sorrento, we'll do a walking tour there. We also visit the city or area of Pompeii, and that's home to the famous eruption of Mount Vesuvius. So learn all about that time period and the effects of the eruption. Then it's down to the coastline itself, the different towns along the Amalfi with Positano, Ravello, and Amalfi. Down in the bottom left corner is the area of Ravello, beautiful church up there or home. And then we also go out to Amalfi, and Positano is where we do a fresh mozzarella cheese tasting. So there's nothing really like fresh mozzarella, especially when it comes from Italy. We have a couple of day trip options. One is out to the Isle of Capri, where we learn about the Blue Grotto. You have time if you'd like to, and if the conditions are right, to go out on a boat to do that. We also head to the home of pizza, and that's Naples or Napoli. So you have an opportunity there. And then a limoncello demonstration and tasting as well incorporated with this. Then we also have an extension to Rome for a couple of nights at the end if you wanted to spend more time in the Eternal City. So April 19th is a great trip coming up soon. And then November 8th if you wanted to do it in the fall. Then Athens and the Greek Isles, as we focus on the Mediterranean, is a great program. We have multiple dates on. April 12th, which is running out of space. May 10th and October 4th is also limited. So this is a really popular tour that we have. 9 days and 10 meals included. Now, most of our programs have all the breakfasts included and then handfuls of lunches and dinners throughout. We'll start out with an Athens city tour, and that incorporates the Acropolis and Parthenon. Then we work our way out to the islands, and most companies do it by cruise. We take a high-speed ferry, so we maximize our time in both Mykonos and Santorini. So 2 nights on both of those islands, as well as a walking tour of Delos. Then we head back into Athens and have the option to extend that trip up to the north and Kalambaka and Delphi. So join us on one of these many programs. Treasures of Ireland connects home with a lot of people as Irish heritage is spread throughout the United States. We'll spend time both in Northern Ireland as well as the Republic down to the south. But we'll fly into Dublin and head up to Belfast for 2 nights. We do the Titanic Belfast Museum, as well as the beautiful Giant's Causeway. And that you can see the landscape in the bottom left corner there. From Belfast, we'll work our way to the west coast of the Republic of Ireland and stay 2 nights in Limerick. That's famous for Angela's Ashes, famous book about the potato famine. Then it's off to the Cliffs of Moher. You can see that in the upper left, and Galway, which is a beautiful university town. From Limerick, we also work our way south to Killarney, and that's home of our trip out to the Ring of Kerry. So we do a big loop of the ring and bring you back. Then it's off to Blarney, and Blarney Castle is a visit we can't miss. We kiss the Blarney Stone. From there, back up to Dublin, and we end with a Dublin city tour, getting a chance to see the Book of Kells, as well as do a whiskey tasting. You can't go to Ireland without that. So April 19th, October 11th, and November 1st. Then Iceland's been a huge destination for tourism in the last 5 or 10 years. And so this Unpack Once tour of Reykjavik gives you the best of the south part of Iceland. And what we do is a city tour on this program. We also incorporate the Iceland National Museum, so learn about its history, especially relating to Vikings. So we do also visit the Viking Ship Museum on this tour. You can't go to Iceland without seeing the Blue Lagoon, and so we have admission included for that as well. And then a Golden Circle tour, and that incorporates a lot of the waterfalls and geyser features that are all throughout the southern part of the island. So this has a number of departures, June 1st, September 14th, and October 5th. So as we wrap up, just a couple of points I wanted to make you aware of. First and foremost is guaranteed pricing. And that's a new feature for this year. So as airlines and vendors change their rates, as air prices go up or down, once you're deposited, your price is locked in, so you don't have to worry about your airfare increasing. We also have programs called guaranteed departures. That means enough passengers are confirmed to operate that tour, and you'll see that throughout our brochure. And then we do offer that low-cost travel protection plan with a cancel for any reason benefit. Now, another aspect or benefit of booking with AFC is that we are part of the USTOA, which is United States Tour Operators Association, and that has a $1 million Travelers Assistance Program. So how can you book? Again, you can call our 1-800 number. You could email any of our reservations coordinators, Joe, Holly, or Claudia at afctours.com, or visit our website and fill out one of the forms, whether it's international, cruise, or domestic tour. So please come join us for one of our many different trips. And as I mentioned before, some of the show specials, we've reduced the deposit down to $150 just for this show up until next Wednesday, March 2nd. We also have that one category upgrade for the Wonders of the Danube, but also for the Christmas Markets cruise coming up in November. Then, if you book your travel protection with your deposit, we'll take an additional $20 off of that as well. So again, use the code BTSFEB. Thank you all for joining us. We really appreciate you spending the time with us, with Chris and I. I know he's appreciative of it as well. If you do have any questions, please email April@afctours.com and add us on Facebook. Thanks so much, and you guys have a great day.